What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Danelle, and this is all about investing. And right now, I'm focusing on Forex. So today, as I jump into my analysis to get the week started, I'm really taking note of my mentals, like just making sure that I have my head on straight, that I'm focused, that I'm patient, I'm not anxious, because that is what has derailed me. Like taking these trades and stuff can be a thrill, so it gets your emotions going up and down. So a big part of me starting out the week successful is to just be calm, be relaxed, take my time, and really see the charts and not force trades. So I'm gonna jump into some analysis, kind of revisit some of the trades I did last week, and on those trades, since it was towards the end of the week, I exited them early before price hit my target or before it hit my stop loss. And I'll give some more explanation of that, as well as what I see happening next with those pairs. So this will be, I think, a good one for you to tune into as we go into this week of Forex trading. And I hope you enjoy it.
Started with the British pound Aussie dollar. So I actually took a trade on this last week, a long trade, and got me about 55 pips. So I was pretty happy about that. And the reason I exited that trade was I saw it start to price retreat out of this from this trend line, and also area of prior support and resistance. So that is what caused me to exit that trade. But overall, I'm still pretty bullish on this pair. If we look at this on the daily, I'm looking at this as, because you see this bounce out of this low area here, this support area here, and this bounce up, and now this pullback. Thinking this is just the first leg of an uptrend. Possibly. I definitely don't want to say that for sure, but that's how I'm looking at this right now, as a possible just pullback, and I'm expecting that we will break through this trend line. It looks like we're starting to get a break now. So obviously we have a few levels to break through before we can actually make a higher high on the daily time frame. So here, I will be looking for area to break this level right here, and then break this level right here, possibly before I get in. Now, we're seeing a pretty strong candle now that's already broke the trend line. It hasn't closed yet, but it's above the trend line and working its way into the first area of resistance that I have drawn here. So if it could break this area of resistance and maybe retest that area and bounce out of it, then I will be looking to get long at that point. Uh, I'm not really, I will be looking at it the same here. If price was just to this straight breakthrough here and not slow down, not retest, then I'll be looking for a break here and a retest here, and then I'll be looking to get long. I always look for a break and retest to kind of confirm the direction that price is moving before I get in. Before I would have just rushed in and saw this candle right here pushing higher, and it could turn out to be a good early entry, or it, like it has in most cases, turn out to be a premature entry, and price just goes against me. Price just reverses from this point and retreats out of this area of resistance, heads back down into this area of support, and then bounces up. So I mean, in that case, if that does happen, I would be looking to buy here again. I think that we're in a descending triangle right now, and I see price breaking out of it to the upside. If it doesn't, then obviously I'll be ready too. So you have to be fluid when trading, and that's what I'm trying to do. So let's move on to USD CAD. So USD CAD is another one I took a trade on last week, but I went short on this trade because if you look at it even on a weekly, we have been in a downtrend since March. So looking at it in the daily, you see we have recently bounced off of this trend line here, and even on my recent trade, that's primarily what made me take the trade, is that I saw it came up to this trend line and it retreated out of it. And this was also an area of resistance, then support, then resistance, and resistance again. So I actually, when I originally took this trade, I took it from this area here all the way to this low. I was planning on retesting this low. Obviously, we got a little bit of a rejection here, not necessarily not a full rejection, but just some hesitation here at this area of support. And I exited the trade because it was a Friday and I didn't want to hold over the weekend. But we see price starting to head down lower again. Now I could just hop back in this trade, but I would really like to see how price responds. I mean, we're actually almost at the low, not this low, but the most previous low. So if we can break that, that could be a strong signal that it's time to get in short again. But it could also mean that uh, there's going to be a retest of this level and then a move down, or a break back up higher into this trend line and then moving down. So that's why I want to be patient with this and kind of see how price behaves around this level, seeing that we have had some up and down movement with this. So I have the 50-day moving average on there. So since it's trading around there, it'd be interesting to see if price comes back to this before it heads down. Right now, I'm not seeing the 50 start to turn down at all, so I'm not in a rush to jump into this trade. But I am bearish at this point on this pair. All right, so let's revisit another trade from last week, the British pound and Swiss franc. Now, here's where the trade where I actually missed my entry right here, because it was during the London session, which I don't typically trade. And when I woke up, it was already entering into this area of resistance and breaking through. So then I saw these two red candles here with some wick rejection out of that zone. So that's why I took the trade here on this green candle, thinking price was just gonna push higher. It was end of the day Friday, so I should have known better. It really didn't do that. It pushed up, then it pulled back a little bit, and I exited the trade and I was up maybe a few cents. So it wasn't a loss, but I certainly was expecting a lot more. But you see, market open today, and in the first hour, we get a huge move down from where price opened at. Now, it would not have stopped me out, which is good, and price has moved higher and broken through the next area of resistance, which, I mean, is getting pretty close to what my original price target was. It actually might get there, so I caught that one correctly, but I still feel good that we're being disciplined with not necessarily holding on to these trades over the weekend unless I have a lot of room in the trade as far as like profit, and then I've been able to trail my stop. So we'll see what happens with this pair. If we get a retest of this level, then I can get in it and go long again. If not, then I just missed it. Too bad. Okay, so let's look here. Oh, and one thing I want to point out. So this pound Swiss looks very similar to the pound yen. Hits the trend line, which is also an area of support that was previously resistance, bounces out of that, has a slight pullback and a move higher. It almost looks exactly the same. I am bullish on both of these pairs. So it's pairs like this and like the pound yen and the pound Swiss that I don't typically trade at the same time, because they do move very similar in some cases, not all, in some cases. And so I usually pick whichever setup I think looks best. because I don't want to be wrong twice. It'd be great to be right twice, but I don't want to be wrong twice and lose double money with the same analysis. So yeah, there you go. But I just want to point that out because I thought that was interesting. And the same thing with the GBP AUD, which we looked at earlier, and the pound New Zealand dollar. It looks very similar in the way that it moves sometimes, and so I will trade either or in most cases. But if you notice, most of the pound pairs are um, actually looking pretty bullish. I mean, at this point, I know that the pound New Zealand dollar and the pound Aussie are um, we're both kind of in long-term downtrends, and it looks like we could get a reversal. I'm not sure, but you see we have this double bottom here with the pound Aussie, or somewhat of a double bottom, but at the very least a low, a swing low, higher low, and then a move higher. Um, so this will be a swing low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So looks like the start of an uptrend to me. Yeah, so sorry about that. Um, so yeah, I'll definitely be looking at these two pairs to see which setups look good in terms of maybe getting in these going long. This right away I can see. I mean, we've had a lot of resistance here, so we're looks like we're breaking out of that right now. And if we could break free from that, I mean, I'm looking to get in. Uh, looking to get in actually if it could break this high and maybe give me a retest somewhere around in this area, the trend line support area. And I think that we have a lot of room to the upside to run the same as the pound Aussie. Now the pound dollar, same thing. A lot of room for the upside. The only difference is this one has been bullish for a pretty long time. Since March. It's been running up. So really on this one, I'm looking for it to come back into an area of support or prior resistance, or back to my long-term trend line. See it a little bit better here. Come back to this trend line here. Just I know it's got to take a breather. It's been running up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. So it'll probably be looking to take a break soon, hopefully, so I can get a pretty good entry. But I will not force it. I will not chase trades. Sometimes I have to say that out loud because it's very appealing to do. Um, and actually, I did. I took a trade on this last week, and I was actually bearish in this area because I was pretty sure that it was gonna bounce out of this area of resistance, prior resistance, and come back down to this area of support before it moved higher. I'm glad I closed that trade for just a slight loss of what 33 cent, because now it would have definitely hit my stop for much more than that. So we'll see what price does here. But if I don't get a retest, then I'll just have to. Then this will just be a trade I missed. So those are all the pairs I want to talk about today, I believe. Yeah, the euro isn't doing anything interesting right now. Let's look at that on a daily. This is also one of my favorite pairs. I mean, it did just come off this trend line and it hit this area of resistance. So, I mean, it's been running up for a while. So this would be something you can see that it's below the 50-day moving average. So I'll be looking to go short on this one. I would be looking to sell this pair. Um, I don't want to say that I'm like 100% bearish, but it is looking like this could start a downtrend or have a pullback or something of that nature. But I definitely am not looking to take buys right now. That isn't necessarily where I see this going, but I've been wrong in the past. All right, but yeah, so that is everything. So just a quick reminder of where I'm at on my goal to flip this account to um, $1,000. You can see it down here. I am at $514.62. So I am up $14.62, which is not bad for one day of trading. So I don't know if I'll be entering the market tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll see how it goes, what it looks like, because Mondays have always been tricky for me. And yeah, so I guess I will get back to you sometime during this week to update you on what trades are happening.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my analysis. I know I still kind of ramble on a little bit when I'm talking about those. Sometimes that's just me still processing and trying to make sure that